Hi everybody, this week on ANN News Kids, we'll be talking about the NASA helicopter on Mars, missing Indonesian submarine, coronavirus in India, as well as world updates and what you can do at home if you're bored, Leaders Summit on Climate Talk, and the Super League. The country of the week is Albania, and for the extra fun segment, we'll be talking about Earth Day and what we can do for the environment. In the Peer at Your Career, we'll be talking to Helene Echevin, who is the director and chairperson in CCare, which is a quality healthcare service group in Mauritius, which is a part of Ciel Group. Hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also, comment below for any topics that you would like to hear about or a country that you might be interested in. The NASA helicopter Ingenuity successfully became the first to fly to Mars on Monday, 19th April. Hopefully, it'll be able to explore cliffs and craters, places that the rover cannot get to. Even though it's only the size of a chihuahua, it still has solar cells, batteries, 2 cameras, and computer and navigation systems. Because it's so far away from Earth, the commands have to be placed way in advance. Its blades rotate 8 times faster than helicopters on Earth. Something else is that NASA and SpaceX successfully launched the Crew 2 mission to the ISS, International Space Station. There are 4 astronauts, including the first French to go to the International Space Station. An Indonesian submarine KRI Nanggala 402 got lost on Wednesday. There were 53 people on board, and officials are desperately trying to find it. There are fears that it got sunk and is crushed in the bottom of the sea. Its oxygen supply was supposed to have run out on Saturday, the 24th. And so, the people inside may be dead. It's a huge submarine, just under 60 meters in length. And this is the first time Indonesia has lost a submarine. Many countries are helping Indonesia find it. India's coronavirus cases are getting out of hand. Until 2020 September, the cases were rising, but after that, till February 2021, they were decreasing. Since then, there has been a huge elevation in coronavirus cases in India. The only possible explanation is that there is a coronavirus mutation there. On 22nd, there was a record, almost 345,000 cases in just one day. There are no beds there, and even oxygen supply is scarce. In the world, there are about 147 million coronavirus cases, 3.1 million deaths, and about 125 million people have recovered. Here are some things that you can do in your free time if you're in a lockdown or if you're not in school. You can read a book, help with chores, play games. You can learn something or start a new hobby, such as a language. You can do gardening and talk with friends and family. Also remember to follow instructions and wear a mask, as well as practice social distancing. Starting on 22nd April, which was Earth Day, and ending on 23rd April, President Joe Biden invited 40 world leaders to the Leaders Summit on Climate. He talks about USA being the greatest emitter of carbon and the second largest emitter of greenhouse gases after China. He said that the countries need to work together and America cannot do it on its own. The plan is to reach net zero slowly and to avoid the planet from heating up 1.5 degrees Celsius. New plans and initiatives were announced in order to reach this goal. It looks like it went well because many leaders were convinced to make sacrifices in order to make a change. In the Extra Fun segment, we'll be talking more about Earth Day and what we can do as kids to help the environment. On 18th April, 12 of Europe's football clubs decided to break away from UEFA and join a new league, the Super League. Fans were angry and disappointed by this, and so 9 out of the 12 clubs left. The earlier plan was that 20 of Europe's best football clubs would play against themselves, because when they play with the smaller teams get more advantage due to the TV rights, which are not meant for them but the better teams, and the fans that come to watch. This plan backfired because of all the teams leaving.
Okay, good. Okay.
So, firstly, could you please start by introducing yourself, just with your name and what you do?
Yes, so I'm Helene Echevin. I'm the CEO of Ciel Healthcare. So I am in charge of a group of hospitals in Mauritius, Uganda, and Nigeria.
Oh wow! It must be a little, harder now because of the pandemic.
It's quite challenging, I need to say. It's when you are in the healthcare during the pandemic, it gives you a different angle to it, and you feel you're part of the battle in the middle of it.
Wow. Could you explain what you do a little bit more, and what you do as the head of Ciel Healthcare?
Yes, so in my position, my job is to really take care of the 2,000 employees that are working for us so that they give the best care as possible to the patients that will come to us. So our aim actually is to cure and to heal people. So that's the purpose of what we do. So obviously, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, so I'm not personally touching the patient, but my responsibility is to make sure that everything is good around the doctor and the nurses so that they can do the best of what they can to really treat the patient and give the best care to the patient.
Wow, that's amazing. Quite a few things. And how did your journey start, and why did you get into this field?
Well, to be frank, I started, you mentioned earlier group just before, so I started in a different field. I started in the food business, and then at some time in my life, I had the feeling I need to change for something with a greater purpose, I would say. So then I changed when I was almost 40 years old. I changed from I would say, the food sector, and I got into the health sector. It has always been a sector that I was interested in. I personally believe there's a lot of purpose in what we do. It's not easy every day, but when you go back home, you know that you have been able to make a positive impact on the patient you are treating, their families. So that's the reason why I have chosen the field of healthcare.
Wow, thank you. That's really inspiring. Oh, that's a big game changer from food to health.
And at the age of 40-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you should always take new challenge in your life if you feel you can bring something more elsewhere.
Wow.
Wow, thank you. What do you like the most about your job?
What I like the most again is the sense of purpose first, that there's a true meaning in what we do. What also I like the most is that it's very, I would say, kind of complex to manage doctors, nurses, but also all the basic general support services you have in a normal industry like finance, human resources, supply chain. So it's a very vast, and I'm learning every day how to do things better. We are in a field where continuous improvement is one of the key words, so that every day we need to find solutions to be better tomorrow. So this is what I like the most in my job.
Wow.
That's amazing. Thank you.
And how was C-Care involved in the pandemic?
Well, in the first lockdown, we had to react quite quickly. First, because none of us knew what to do, what would be the consequences of the first lockdown. I would say of the first wave. So earlier in the pandemic last year, we had to build a new section in the hospital if ever we would had to welcome COVID patients. So this means changing the air system so that the air system are not common with the rest of the hospital, buying new equipments, and mainly also starting our PCR lab, because I don't know if you know, but in the COVID pandemic, we are using a lot of PCR tests to be able to test patients to make sure they are positive or negative. We had also to review the whole protocols in the hospital, checks and checks and checks, and also to make sure we had enough protective equipment for our staff, because our duty is also to protect our staff so that they can in return protect the patients. So the personal protective equipment was something very strong when we started a year ago. This time, with the second wave, we were much better prepared. The protocols were already thought through. We had the rules. We had already the stock of PPEs. So we managed to enter in that second lockdown in a more structured way. Having said that, this time we had to prepare for the vaccination, because we are working hand in hand with the government to be able to vaccinate also in the private sector. So this was a big, I would say, work in the first 2 weeks to set up good, up to standard vaccination centers.
Yeah. Wow, thank you so much. Nobody knew that the pandemic would last so long and become this big. And this is the final question. What advice do you have for kids?
My advice to kids is first to play and be happy, and not to be too stressed about the future in life. Second, when you do something, do it well. It doesn't matter what it is. There's no best or worst work in life or career in life. Everything has a possibility to be a great way of expressing yourself and be happy in life. The only thing I would suggest is when you decide to do something, do it with your heart and the best you can. So that's my first, I would say, advice. And my second advice is don't be too worried about life. It's not that complicated in a way. It will be difficult, so there's no way to worry about it. It's difficult for everyone, so just take it step by step. And I'm sure that with a positive attitude, you'll find the solutions.
Thank you so much.
Those are really nice
Insights.
advices. Yeah. That's really important to do everything as the best you can. Yeah.
And of course, not to stress about what's coming.
Yeah, take it easy. Don't be too serious about yourself and remain humble.
Thank you so much for doing this interview and taking your time. It was really nice of you to do this. We
Pleasure.
really enjoyed, and
It was wonderful talking to you. And
yeah, we learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I wish you the best in your project and
Thank you
have
so
a
much.
very good day today.
You too. Have a nice week.
Bye-bye.
L'Albanie est un pays situé en Europe. C'est un pays petit et il y a de nombreux châteaux et de sites archéologiques là-bas. Mère Teresa est connue là-bas parce qu'elle était albanaise. Plus que 3250 types de plantes sont trouvés là-bas. Ça faisait partie d'Italie jusqu'en 1943. Et l'aigle qui est sur le drapeau existait depuis 1190. L'Albanie est une population de 2,9 millions d'habitants. Elle a le lac le plus ancien d'Europe, qui a 1,4 million d'années et s'appelle Ohrid. Il y a beaucoup de fossiles au fond et c'est un site de l'UNESCO. Et elle a l'Internet le moins cher et le plus rapide d'Europe. Mais c'est un pays très corrompu. 70% d'Albanie est couverte en montagne. This week on 22nd April, it was Earth Day, and that's why for the extra fun segment, we're going to be talking about what we can do for the environment as kids. Hope you enjoy. What can we do with waste? We can start recycling it, such as using newspaper to make boxes. We should put waste in the bin and segregate it so that it can be recycled. But what can we do with plants? We can plant trees and grow plants. Try not to use pesticides and insecticides. We can start composting and even start making our own organic compost and fertilizers. Here are some everyday things that are really easy to do and will help the environment. Using both sides of the paper. Taking shorter showers to save water. Picking up trash and putting it in the dustbin, such as plastic, so that it can be recycled. Using reusable bags instead of plastic bags while going to the supermarket. Using rechargeable batteries. And unplugging devices and gadgets when not in use. Another thing we can do is switching off the tap while brushing so that it's not on the whole time, and even start walking and cycling more so that we don't use vehicles like cars that really pollute the environment. Also, make sure that when you're not using light, switch it off. Also during the day, when there is natural light, switch off your bulbs. And try not to waste food. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed.